Hi, today I'm going to make some glycerine melt and pour soap. It is such a fun and easy way to start your soap journey. So join me in making some fun soaps and you'll see how easy it is. I'm going to show you what we need to get started and yeah, follow along. So to make our glycerine soap, we just need a couple of things. Firstly, we need to have something that is microwave proof because you don't want to let it get too hot, and we stir briefly in between each burst. So I've got 3 of these because I'm going to be making a few different colors. Then you also need something to stir, so I'm going to use those. I'm going to wear some gloves, the glycerine melt and pour soap, a cute little silicone mold. I'm also going to make some of these little rose ones. I think that's going to be cute. Then we're going to have our mica colors. To work with our mica colors, it doesn't mix well into the melt and pour soap. So what we're going to do is we're going to just mix it with a tiny little bit of carrier oil just to mix it in, and then some little containers that we're going to put our colors into. And then for a scent, we're going to do lavender, and in the little rose ones, we're going to do ylang ylang. So and also we need something to cut the melt and pour soap, a sharp knife or any tool that you can cut it. Okay, let's get started. So we're ready to go. I've got my gloves on and my melt and pour is ready to be cut. I'm going to be making a two-toned color. For my little one, I've decided to make it gold and lavender, and I'm going to make it with the lavender essential oil. So I think that's going to be really nice. And for the rose one, I'm going to use a neon pink and also some gold. And I might also put a bit of lavender in there as well in terms of color, because I'm sure I'll have some left over soap. So here we go, let's get started. Okay, so we've taken some of this off and we're going to cut it into chunks. Just small enough chunks that they can melt a bit easier in the microwave. You can also put it in a double boiler, but I find for the size that I'm working with, it's going to be easier and better to just use the microwave. Okay, now we can just cut them into some smaller chunks, just to help them to melt quicker and more evenly. So the nice thing about using melt and pour soaps as well is that you don't need to wait for the soaps to cure. You can just use these as soon as they are dried. So that's great. And in terms of how long it takes for them to dry, depends on the size of your mold, but normally a couple of hours to completely harden. So now that we have cut them into chunks, we're going to place them into the 3 different microwave proof Pyrexes here. So we're going to now stick it into the microwave. It's one at a time until it is melted, but it mustn't get too hot. If it gets too hot, it will burn and then it can start to smoke and all that stuff. So we want to do it slowly and just make sure that it melts at a nice temperature. So let's go. So I'm going to put it in the microwave at small little bursts. Because that's such a small amount, I'm going to do it at about a 10-second burst and then have a look at where we are. So as you can see, it's just barely starting to soften. So in we go for the next burst. I'm going to do 15 seconds this time. Oh, so that's starting to melt quite nicely. We're going to just give it a stir and we'll put it back. I will show you when it's all melted. Okay, so this is melted and I'm just giving it a nice stir to make sure that it's evenly melted through. And then I'm going to now add the color in. So this is now fully melted and I'm now going to get ready with our color. So to make the color, I'm going to just put a tiny bit of carrier oil, a lightweight carrier oil. I'm going to use sweet almond oil. You can use any lightweight carrier oil that you have. and I'm going with my purple first. So we just need a tiny bit. They say for every teaspoon of mica, you would use about a tablespoon of carrier oil. You don't want to put too much. You don't want to put too much oil in the soap because it'll affect how it lathers. So we really don't need much at all because this is really small. So I think we're just going to do just a little bit like that. I think that will do. That's going to be lovely. That's all we need for that one. So now we're going to add it in here. So now we've put in our color. We're going to quickly put in our fragrance, which I'm using lavender. And then we're going to pour it into the mold and let it just solidify for a little bit before we add the gold on top so that the colors don't mix in with each other. Lavender is one of my absolute favorite smells. I really do love it. Going to do that. So now I'm going to melt the next one, which is going to be for my pink color. So I'm going to melt it at 10 to 15 second bursts, stirring it in between. And that was it. So this is all melted now, and now I'm going to do the color, which is going to be the neon pink, and I'm going to mix that into a little drop of sweet almond oil before I disperse it into our melt and pour soap. Wow, what a beautiful color. It's so bright. Wow, that really is neon pink. Now we're going to add a bit of sweet almond oil in. I'm just doing about half a teaspoon just so that we can mix. Look at that rich, beautiful pink color. Wow. So pink, so beautiful. Oh wow, that's gonna look beautiful. Okay, let's pour it in. So our purple is definitely hard enough for the gold to go on top, so we are going to start melting our gold melt and pour. Okay, so I have melted this down. I did it in 10-second bursts and I did it 3 times, and now I'm going to make the gold color just to help it to mix in nicely, to make it easier to be dispersed into the melt and pour. I love gold so much. I'm just going to stir this for a little bit until I feel like it is all mixed in nicely, and then we're going to pour it on top of the purple one as well as the pink ones. I think the pink ones are also ready. We'll just do what's left of here and see how many we get. I think we'll get 2. And there we have it. So now we're going to let them dry for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back and open them up and see how they look. Okay, so it's been a little while. They actually hardened much quicker than they would normally, just because of how cold it is here at the moment. But yeah, let's have a look at what they look like. Super exciting. Oh, that is lovely. 100% handmade little soap, little glycerine soap. I think the colors are cute. Smells beautiful. Now let's have a look at the others and see how they turned out. Oh, so I did decide, I had some purple left over, so I did put that at the top of the other two. That when I didn't have enough gold. So let's see how they turned out. Sweet, two-toned. Oh, it's very cute. There we go. We've just made some gorgeous glycerine soap, and I think it turned out lovely. I think that might be my favorite.